everyone, it's Anya here. I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks, and today we are making this gorgeous drawstring bag. I have come up with the idea myself, and I am using a whole roll of this sugar and cream denim version, and it's called this color is called Blue Jeans. And the hook is number 5, but I use not a number 5 because I want it to be a close stitch, so I'm going to use a 3.5. So you know, one of these and a 3.5. You will be able to do the drawstrings with this as well, and you will just have a little bit left, so it's ideal for a project for just one of these balls, because they have loads of these in different colors. And I also have this one here which I'm going to use today. So you know, you sort of buy these sometimes and you fancy them because you like them, but then you have one and you don't really know what to do with just the one. So this is an ideal project for just one of those balls. I am loving this stitch. It gives quite a luxurious finish, and it looks sort of like a little bit of starburst, I think. And it's quite a big bag. Let me just show you. So the drawstring works that you can actually pull it open, and then there's quite a lot that goes in, so you have quite a big inside, and then you pull it closed by pulling the sides, and your drawstring bag is closed. So I hope you join me on making this bag, and I am calling this the Ophelia bag, and it's going to be my signature bag for my channel. So let's get started. I am using lava lamp today because I just wanted to see what the effect would be if I had a variegated wool. So we are going to start with a slip knot, and you are going to insert your hook, close your slip knot, and we are going to do 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. Then you go back to that first chain and you put your hook in it, and you can pull open that chain very carefully. Take your hook out and look at it now. This is going to be your magic circle. In here, this is where you're going to do your stitches. So yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3, and that's a half treble crochet. And this project is mainly half treble crochets. That's one of my favorite stitches. So yarn over into the circle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3. And we do this until we have 9 stitches, or rather 9 V's on the edge of our work. We will then close the circle to make it circular, obviously, and we will create the 10th V with a slip stitch. So that is what we need. We need 10 V's around the edge of our work. So that just split a little bit. There we go. Let me just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this is your 9th stitch here, your 9th V. These 2 here, so these are 2 chains. That's your equivalent of your half treble crochet, so don't count those. That is the first one here, so this is number 9, so we've got there. So now hold your work flat like this and pull your end. I can't do it any other way but holding my thumb over it, so I hope you can see that the hole, look, is getting smaller. So keep pulling and the hole will be smaller. And then you are going to go back. If you're not sure which one it is, count back from your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there is the 9th one. So get yourself into that. It might not be so easy, so look, this is splitting a little bit, but I'm just, yeah, I've got it, see? So through the stitch using the 2 V's, and just make sure that this one isn't too big. Pull it through, yarn over and pull through, and then you pull through there. There we go. Okay, this now gives you 10 V's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. And this is what we will be counting on the edge of our work going all the way through our project, or all the way through the bottom of our project. Once we're doing the sides, it's not so bad anymore. So this is my 2 chains that I do to work my way up. So I'm going to disregard these because this is going to be the last stitch of my round here. So we are now going to go into this first V here. And we are doing 2 half treble crochets in each stitch around. Okay, so let's do the other one. Sometimes that first one is a little bit tighter, but it should be able to work. So place 2 half treble crochets in each stitch around, and I will meet you at the end here. I am now going to do that last stitch, and as we are doing 2 stitches in each stitch, I am going to do the first stitch in that last stitch, but of course the second stitch we've already done because that is going to be that chain that we did. So the chain, and then we have here a V which we can pick up and we do our slip stitch in. So I give this one a tug to make it a little bit smaller, so we end up with a neater slip stitch. There we go. And we use both this one and this one in the next row. Okay, so chain up, and we're going into there, into that very first stitch, again doing half treble crochets, and then in the next stitch we do 2 half treble crochets. So this is how you're going to go round. So the next stitch you do 1, and the next stitch you do 2 into the same stitch. There we go. Okay, I will meet you at the end of the round when you get to that stitch where the chain is coming out of. I am now at that last stitch, and I am needing to do 2 in there, and that's fine because of course I do the one and then the second one is already in there. So 1, 2 chains, and then here, so here on top of that first half treble crochet, that's the V that we are going to pick up. Tug the one that's on your hook to make it a little bit smaller and do a slip stitch. So in the first round here we had 10 V's. Here we doubled, so we have 20 V's, and this time here we have 30 V's going around our edge of our work. Okay, so you should count them and make sure you have 30. Now we're going to do the next row. Again, same thing as before, chain up, this time also into the first stitch. Do a half treble crochet. In the next stitch you do a half treble crochet, and in the next stitch you do 2 half treble crochets. So that's the ratio that you go round in now this time. So 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. That's the repeat that you are going to do, and I will see you at the end there. I have made it to the end of the round again, and once again I am right. So 1, 1, and then the last one needs a 2. So it should work out each time that you have to put 2 in that last stitch, and then of course you've got that 1 already there, so you only have to put 1. Then we are going to go and do that slip stitch again under that V, tug on your hook one, the one that's over your hook, and do a slip stitch. This time you will have 40 stitches going around the edge of your work. Make sure it is lying flat, and if you find that this comes undone, so there's a hole again there, either pull it each time or just spend a little bit of time weaving it in. So put your needle in and just weave it in so it can't come undone anymore. So again, we are going to do the chain up for our next round, 2. Then we are going to do our half treble crochets, but this time the ratio is 1, 1, 1, and then 2. Okay, so there we go. So that's our ratio this time. So we have added another single half treble crochet. So we are now doing 1, 1, 1, and then 2. So I will see you at the end of the round. So once again, I am at the end of my round, and yes, I have got to that point again where I have to put a second one into that stitch where we put the chain in. In a way, that's a way for you to check whether you've done the right amount, but also make sure you count them, obviously. And this time you need 50 V's going round. So let me just do the slip stitch here, tug on that one just to make it smaller, and do your slip stitch. So I've got 50 V's going around the edge of my work here. Right, so 1, 2, and again, same thing. 1, 1 half treble crochet, 1 half treble crochet, and 1 half treble crochet. So that's 4. And now we do the 2. 1, 2. So this time your ratio is 4 half trebles, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 in the next stitch. And I will meet you when we are at the end of the round there. So I've done my last 4 half double crochets here. Now I need to do that 2. So into the stitch where the chain is coming out of. There we go. We've got the chain, and then slip stitch to close, tug to close up that round. Okay, so now you have 60 stitches, 60 V's on the outside of your work. This completes the bottom of the bag. Now we are going to work in a different way. So we chain up 2, and this time you're going to sort of turn your work towards you so you can see the V's. You yarn over, and into that first V here, you pick up the top loop and you do a half treble crochet. So yarn over, pick up this one here. So not both loops, but just the top one there. There we go. Okay. I'm quite liking the way this is working up, so I am continuing in this cotton. There we go. And we are just doing 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. This is going to be sort of your like the bottom edge of your side of the drawstring bag before we start doing the lovely stitch that I used. Okay, so I will see you when you get here. I have now come to the end of my round, doing half treble crochets in every stitch around, and now I'm just going to pick up the V here tug the other cord and just do a slip stitch. So now you will see that you've got a flat bottom, but you've already got a side that is standing up. So now we are going to get started on the actual stitch. So we are using a half treble V stitch. So chain 2, and we're going to disregard that for now, just not worry about that. So we are going to look at the stitches. We are going to skip 1, 2 stitches, and into the third stitch we are going to yarn over, half treble crochet into that third stitch, chain 1, and another half treble crochet into that same stitch. There we go. So that is our first sort of cluster done, and this is what we are going to repeat. So skip 2 stitches into the third one and do a half treble crochet, a chain, and a half treble crochet into that same stitch. Next, skip 2 into the third one, half treble crochet, chain 1, and a half treble crochet. And this is how you're going to continue all the way around until you meet that chain that we have done when we started. I have now come to the end of my round. I've got 2 stitches left. Well, actually I've got 3 stitches left, 1, 2, and in the third one is that chain coming out. That chain coming out is our second half treble crochet of our V stitch. So in that same stitch we are going to put a half treble crochet, a chain, and then we're going to skip the chain, and then into the next V we are going to do the slip stitch. So tug it a little bit and do a slip stitch, and that has created our last V stitch. Now we are in a position where we are okay, but not really. So what I do is I go into here, pull up the yarn and do a slip stitch, and this is putting me in a better position to get started. Okay, so now we are going to do 2 chains, and we are going to do the same thing again as before. So we're going to forget about this one, and we are going to start putting our V stitches in between the clusters from the last row. So it's made it a lot easier now because we're not picking up stitches, we're just going in between. So yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 3, chain 1, and another half treble crochet into that same space there. Okay, and this is how you're going to continue. So you don't need to worry about where you're going to, well, pick up stitches. You're just going in between the clusters, and that gives you a tighter, closer finish without any holes, so that nothing that's in your bag could possibly fall out. Okay, so this is how you're going to continue. When you get to this position here, you do the same thing as I did before. You do your last half treble crochet, a chain, you slip stitch, and you do another slip stitch to bring you sort of into that hole here. You chain up and you get going again. Now you need to do this, these V cluster rows. You have to have 14 of them, so you count them 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So continue doing this until you have 14 rows of your V stitch clusters. So I have now done my 14 rows. Look at what a wonderful texture it has created. I've done my last half treble, my last chain, and I'm now inserting to do the slip stitch to finish my round. And now I am also going to do that slip stitch, to get started on my next round. Now the next round is a little bit different, so I'm chaining up 2, and this time we are going to do treble crochet V clusters. So we are going to yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, chain, and then you do your second one, yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we are doing treble V clusters this time, and we will be making bigger holes in between our stitches. So I will see you at the end of your round. So I have come to the end of my row. I've done my last treble crochet, my last chain, and now I'm going to do my slip stitch to finish my round. And once again, now we are going to do that slip stitch, and we are going to get started on another couple of rows of doing the half treble crochet again. So chain up 2, in between the next cluster you are going to place a V stitch made up of half trebles. What did I do there? Did I chain already? Oh, I can't remember. Yes, I think I did. It became a habit then. So again, you go back to the previous row, to the rows that we did previously, half treble crochets with a chain in between each cluster around. So the same as those 14 rows that we have already done. Doing that one row here has made holes. As you can see, these holes are bigger, and those are the ones that we are going to use to put our drawstring through. So I will see you at the end of 2 rows here. So 1, 2 rows. I have now come to the end of my row. I've done my last half treble crochet, my last chain, and I am now doing my last slip stitch. Oh, dear me, that's it. That's our bag done. What? Cut off your cotton. And you will see this one here is a little bit sturdier than this one here. This is a little bit, sort of more solid than the one in the denim, but I still prefer this one. I like this one for colour, but yeah. So now you'll have to put in your ends and here as well, so just pull it through, and I am going to do an invisible weave in. And now we are going to do the drawstring. So let's just mimic another stitch. There we go, and I go into the loop there, and I pull it slightly so that it looks like a stitch there on the top there, and then you just weave in at the end. So we will make the drawstring in the next video.